Hello, welcome to the Transformational Healing Network. I'm your hostess, Creatress Christina. The Transformational Healing Network are tools to connect with your inner healer. This TV workshop aims to provide an opportunity for people to experience for themselves the benefits of alternative methods of healing. These benefits of healing help us to achieve balance and wellness in our daily lives. We will be exploring models such as the emotional freedom techniques, laughter yoga, Tonglen meditation, and others. It is in no way intended to be a substitute for medical care from a physician or licensed medical provider. Before we begin, let's take a moment to take a couple deep breaths. Thank you for taking the time to take care of yourself. Today on the show, we have our special guest, Lara Morales Deiter, a licensed therapist from Argentina who is here in San Francisco pursuing her master's in somatic psychology from the California Institute for Integral Studies. She will tell us about family constellations. Take it away.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much for having me. Okay, so I am from Argentina. There is where I got to know family constellations. I have 10 years of being in that field, a long time of training as a client, as a patient of the method, which helped me to have transformation in my life through it. Then I decided to pursue the professional path in the field and started the training as a facilitator. What is all of this about? What is family constellation about? Family constellation, it's I see it as an invitation to see more with the eyes of the heart than with the eyes of the mind. Our family system, our roots, where we come from. It helps a lot to, it's a method, right? It's a systemic and phenomenological method. This means that it's through a systemic lens, and it's phenomenological because we observe different dynamics that happen. So it helps to give light to dynamics that have been hidden, and the idea about seeing these dynamics with, not with our mind judging them, but with the idea of resolution. Mm-hmm. We family constellations helps us see what many people arrive to family constellations after trying different methods, after going to therapy for so long, and many people recommend family constellation work because it's a way of observing why there this pattern, I'm repeating this pattern, I'm finding the same partners every time, I'm having the same problem at all of my different job positions. And once you're repeating a pattern, sometimes it happens that it's not from us, but it's from something that was not resolved before in a different generation.
Mm-hmm. So it's important for us to know where we come from.
Exactly. Family constellation help us that knowing where we come from, we can see where we are going. Why am I going in that direction? Which patterns am I repeating? Why am I choosing the life that I'm choosing? It gives us more strength to open our eyes and see where I come from.
So where are family constellations just for blood family, or where are they applied?
No, they are applied in any system that is alive. This can be any institution, for example, is a system. A hospital itself is a system. It has an order. It has different. It has a hierarchy inside. different subgroups and groups, and people that belong and people that not belong. It applies to family systems, and of course, not only biological, it also, you work with adoptive families as well, with a different approach. But, and also it can be applied to countries, to any institution or any aspect that can be seen as a system.
And how did you come to the field?
I came to the field because of my mother took me to my first constellation, and I arrived there without knowing anything, and suddenly, like the impact that it had in me, the healing and transformative impact that is not always nice, of course. The transformation requires effort, requires dark moments, requires seeing our shadow, our like dark sides and different hidden dynamics, as I've been saying before. So after like walking in there, I discovered this field that is super powerful.
So it helps you to have some transformational revelations about your family and your history and patterns you've had.
And it gives you more direction where you want to go, and it makes you have more personal responsibility in your life, because it's you that you're deciding, and it's not that you're just doing it because a compensation, because you want to you're talking because of something that hasn't been talked before. It makes everything more clear.
So how do we talk about this in the framework? Like, what's the
like the theory of it?
More of like, what's the foundational concepts of?
Okay. The foundation, the father of this is Bert Hellinger. He was a German psychotherapist. He did many things. He started with family constellations when he went to Zulu, Africa. He studied the communities over there, and that's why the family constellation has this more spiritual or shamanistic view or approach sometimes, because it works with the morphic field concepts. It's more in a soul level. It's not in a mind level. We're not, as I started saying, we're not observing the dynamics that we position in with the eyes of with our eyes, but of the mind, but with the eyes of the heart. So Bert Hellinger studied this in Africa, and he discovered that there are some orders of love principles that are repeated in every social group. These orders work in groups, generating order or disorder. And when these orders are out of place or they are not respected, they can some discomfort or grief appears.
What are the principles?
These principles are, the first principle is belonging. That means that every person from the system has the same right to belong and be honored in the system. What does this mean? This means that the system would be the field, right? Everybody that belongs to the field. So this field, and not every person, but also everything, every circumstance belongs as well. So if there's a murder, that thing belongs as well. The system itself does not exclude. That would be the disorder. The order would be when everything is in order, everything is included and seen. When I think that I don't see one part of myself, I'm excluding that part. So this third order, what it does is it regulates the the idea that we all, that for example, grandparents belong, born and unborn children belong as well, abortions belong, ex-partners also belong. If I am with for example, if a client comes with a problem about not having repeating all the time, finding the same partner. I'm not satisfied with my partner 1, 2, 3 times in a row. And maybe when we do a constellation, we can see that maybe it's because in a generation before, some grandparent had a lover that was not included. That maybe me right now in my present moment not being able to choose a loyal partner is because there's an exclusion in another generation. Does this make sense?
Yeah. So we have the part of belonging is that we have to include everything.
Exactly. Belonging means that every member of the family has an equal right to be honored and belong to the system.
Okay, good. And the next one.
The next order is equilibrium. Equilibrium is the idea about
equilibrium.
Equilibrium, yeah. Equilibrium refers to the idea that everything that between relationships, there's a dynamic that needs to be respected, that is someone takes and someone gives. And if there's a breakdown of this balance, then there's a disorder. This varies in relationships, in symmetric relationship or asymmetric relationships. Father-child is an asymmetric relationship. Teacher-student is an asymmetric relationship. Many relationships of that there's a difference in power or in what I gave you and what I'm receiving. There's an asymmetric relationship. And in a symmetric relationship, there needs to be a balance between what I take and what I give. If in a couple's relationship, for example, there's someone that is all the time giving and one that is receiving all the time, nevertheless, both are happy with that because some people love to give. They love and they give. And some people just like are happy receiving, and maybe none of them has a problem with that in a conscious level. But on the bottom, on a more hidden dynamic, there must be, like, there can be, what happens is a disorder, a discomfort. Because if I'm giving all the time, I don't have the time to receive and to see how do I feel when I'm receiving. And if I'm receiving all the time, then my partner is not letting me, okay, I want to see how it feels to give. I just want to have that space, you know, that opportunity.
So it's important to have equilibrium in how much you give and how much you receive.
Exactly. So like love can flow. Exactly. And then the third order of love is that in every system there are hidden, there are rules, ideas, values that regulate the system. What does this mean? Is that some rules or values are explicit and some are implicit. Explicit rules and values can be, for example, at this house we always have dinner at 7. This house is shoes off. You need to spend Christmas Eve with your family, yes or yes. Like explicit rules. And there are some implicit rules that those are the ones that regulate the system. And sometimes we can be living our lives with an implicit rule. For example, like you need to have a college degree, yes or yes, or you cannot, you need to have kids, or you need to marry a Jewish person, or you cannot be single once you're over 30, or you need to be like your dad, or you need to, many implicit rules there are. That is important for us to get to know them, because if they are hidden and they are taking control of our decisions and choices in life, then maybe we're not the ones that are choosing the rules. And sometimes what happens is that people from new generations come and they bring new ideas that they see in the world, and they want to bring, and these rules, ideas, and myths of the family are recycled sometimes by new generations.
Like, how do you mean that they're recycled?
For example, they are more, they get adapt, or they can be like broader, they can be more open. For example, if it's very common that in families, someone from a younger generation says like, oh, why can't we cook pork, for example, a family that never in their life have eaten pork, and suddenly this young person comes and says like, suddenly the young girl from the family says, but I've eaten pork at school and everything is okay, and like there are many ways in which young people, like children, can insist on something. Or for example, there's a myth that that this family is never had someone being bad at math, and suddenly the kid is not good at math, but is good at, I don't know, physical education, and like that's the way in which the problem, if the family is open and like is welcoming to see with new eyes and to receive what this new generation is bringing, then it's easy for the rules. If the rules are more solid, then they can be broken, and the relationship also can be broken, and then that kid that is bad at math can be tagged in a situation, and that can be like you translate it to your adulthood.
I see. So once we recognize these principles, then we can think critically about where we're at generationally and then do something about it.
Exactly. The key point here is to recognize what it is as it is. Once we recognize, okay, I belong here, my role is this one in this family, and this family comes with this implicit and these explicit rules. Once I recognize that, then more peace comes to the heart. And then I can follow, and I can, just that, it's a lot. Just that, like being able to see that and ask myself the question, where am I in the spectrum of like recognizing this as it is? Is it overwhelming for me? Is it light for me? Can I do it? I cannot do it. Just
if we don't recognize or accept them, then that adds to disorder.
Exactly. If I, for example, if I come from a family that is more it's clanic, like those families that are, we do everything together, everything is like a clan, then for me it's going to be harder to have my independence and emancipate myself.
So it's important to be open.
Exactly, or to know where I come from, because if I know that, then I will know, okay, I'm having a hard time having my independence because of this, and then you can start dialogue. There are many situations that can be done after recognizing. But if I don't see it, if I, for example, come from a family of, if I grew up in an insecure attachment, then I would go looking for partners all like around, instead of like, okay, this is my family.
Right. So I'm going to introduce us to someone here who, I don't know if he actually recognizes where he's at, but maybe you can help him because he is having some problems. You can help him see whatever situation he's in.
Okay.
1 second, let me go get him. Hello, where am I?
Hello.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Oh,
well, what's going on with you? You cannot see well, or that's?
No, I'm very sad because I yelled at my brothers.
Oh. But brothers fight sometimes. Why did you yell at them?
Well, they were yelling at me. They yelled at me first.
Why? What's your name?
Leo,
Leo. How old are you?
5.
Oh, you're very young.
Yes,
Very
but I'm
young.
still very fierce. Roar.
Wow, yes, I imagine. I'm super scared. Okay, but why did your brothers yell at you?
All I do is I take their food. That's not a big deal, is it? I just take
Oh,
their food. Because I'm
oh,
hungry.
why do you take their food?
Because I'm hungry.
Oh, and how often do you take their food?
Well, I only take it when mom and dad are fighting and they're not paying attention to me.
Oh, my God, you're super clever, Leo. You're super smart for being 5 years old.
Mm-hmm. Because then when they talk to me, then they stop fighting and then they pay attention to me.
Right. That's like, but you know what? Leo, I totally understand the feeling about wanting to have your parents together and paying attention to you. But there are many other creative ways to do it that involve you not getting into a fight with your brothers. Wouldn't you like to figure out some different ways in which you can have your parents together without fighting, without that involving you getting in a fight with your brothers?
Yes, there was that time that we flew the kite and I loved it. That was so much fun. I love to fly the kite.
That's beautiful. I love flying kites too, Leo, and I bet that your parents really enjoyed that moment as well with you. Let me tell you a secret. Your parents are all the time together. And like at this moment, you have them together inside of you. They're all the time together in your heart, Leo.
So what do I do?
Do you want to do a small exercise with me?
Okay, if it will help.
Yeah. I think it will help because you are super cute. Okay, so let's do the following. Leo. Let's. Do you want to put? Which one do you want to think about? Your mom or your dad?
My dad.
Your dad. Okay. Why don't you put your right hand close to your heart if it's okay with you?
Like this?
Yes, like that. So, and now you can put your head close to your hand, and you can say to your hand, because your hand will be like your dad here. We are imagining that your hand is your dad.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine how it's for you to have your dad very close to your heart, and you can say to your dad, "Thank you, Dad, for the life you gave me.
Thank you, Dad, for the life you gave me.
I love you,
I love you.
and I and you are the right dad for me."
And you are the right dad for me.
Is that good to you, Leo?
Yes.
Do you like saying that?
Yes.
And then you want to, then let's invite your mother to your heart.
Okay.
And you can say to your mother, "Thank you, Mom, for the life you gave me.
Thank you, Mom, for the life you gave me.
You are the right mom for me.
You are the right mom for me. I
And I
love
love
you.
you."
I love you.
And now you can tell both of them, "Thank you. I have the fullest of life from you too.
Thank you. I have the fullest of life from you.
And I know that you're always in my heart,
And I know that you're always in my heart.
and you're the only ones and the right ones for me."
And you're the only ones and the right ones for me. Oh, I like that.
And I know I don't need to fight with my brothers.
And I know what?
Yeah, no, if you can say this.
And I
And
know I don't need to fight with my brothers
for to make the two of you come together
to make the two of you come together
because you already are together in my heart.
because you're already together in my heart.
Now I'm gonna go to play.
Now I will go to play.
Please be with
Bye.
me.
Please, what?
Please stay with me.
Oh, they will stay with me?
Yes, if you ask them, they will.
Thank you.
Bye, Leo.
Bye. So, so how was Leo? He's a little bit of a troublemaker, right?
Yes, but he's extremely cute. That's a problem. Right, no?
Yeah, these are his parents. He's
Oh,
adopted.
right. What a little lion they have.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going he misses you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we already work with him, so you can do your life and he will be okay.
Thank you. All right. Is there any other things that you would like to say about family constellations?
I think that we said a lot,
Yes.
right?
How can we find out more about if we want to look up more?
Well, reading books of Bert Hellinger, that is the founder of this, is the father of this, is the greatest way to start. The books of my teachers are in Spanish, so I can, like, if someone has something in Spanish, they can read them. Then also I have an Instagram called Relational Consciousness, that over there I upload some stuff of family constellation. And I think that honoring your parents is a good way to,
Yes.
maybe not honoring because that's a lot at the beginning, but just recognizing and ask yourself questions about where am I in the spectrum of this?
Mm,
A good way to start.
thank you. Thank you so much. Woohoo! Yay!
Thank you, Christina. Thank you to you.
So thank you for this healing time. I really hope our viewers have had the chance to get a little bit of a taste of of how family constellations can help them and be potentially transforming for our lives and our relationships. Thank you all for tuning in to the Transformational Healing Network. Let's go with an Om to outro.
Thank you, Christina, one more time.
Thank you. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. Peace, peace, peace. Okay. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.